On this edition of Perfect 10 Recaps, we'll recap one of the most underrated films of 2017 called Double Date. Seriously, this film is a good time and then some. The story begins with two couples in a car driving recklessly to a remote location in the outskirts of London. Harry and Jack are two lads that drive sisters Kitty and Lulu to their huge mansion. Jack and Kitty head up to Kitty's room while Harry and Lulu are left alone downstairs. Harry tries to get intimate with Lulu, but she seems disinterested and seemingly worried about Kitty. I wonder why. As Jack is engaged in foreplay with Kitty, he tugs on her hair. To his shock, it's a wig. Kitty then, out of nowhere, stabs Jack 10 times and punches him down to a bed. As Jack lays on the bed convulsing, Kitty strips of her dress and mounts Jack to stab him 5 more times. Lulu rushes in, but to our shock and horror, she seems to be in cahoots with Kitty. Kitty calms Lulu down and asks her if she has killed Harry yet, to which Lulu says no. Kitty tells Harry that it's his lucky night and stabs him, presumably to his death, as we get our bloody opening credits, where we see one of our protagonists, Jim's profile on a dating site called virgindates.com. We learn that Michelle stands him up and breaks up with him over text. Ouch. As he's waiting for her at a bar in East London. His best friend Alex comes in and tells him that Michelle was cheating on him anyway. Jim tells Alex that he got intimate with Michelle, but they hadn't gone all the way yet. With Jim turning 30 in 2 days, Alex promises him that he'll help him lose his virginity before his birthday is over. Alex sets him up with a sad woman, Jennifer, sitting across them. Jim awkwardly tries to comfort her. A drunk Jennifer, sobbing, tries to seduce Jim. Jim calls a cab and accompanies her home, but literally has to drag her there. The police mistake him for a suspect and arrest him. Jim is let go the next day from jail and catches up with Alex. He tells him last night was a disaster and asks Alex to help him out. They're joined by their friend Laura, who's there to buy drugs from a dealer. She invites them to her boyfriend's concert. As Laura and Alex make fun of Jim's virginity, he is embarrassed and is ready to walk out. But in walk Kitty and Lulu. And Jim cannot get his eyes off them. They make eye contact with Jim, even to Alex's surprise. Alex hypes him up and encourages him to shoot his shot. Kitty stares at Jim seductively as he walks up to the bar next to her. They exchange smiles as Jim orders a lemonade with ice. As he tries to smash an ice cube based on Alex's advice to break the ice and get chatting with Kitty, it all fails miserably. Seriously though, have any of you tried this? Does it work? Jim apologizes to Kitty and tries to impress Kitty by saying that he's a spy. As he's about to leave in panic, Alex texts him some pickup lines that Jim hilariously bungles up. I wish I could play this in its entirety. Kitty and Lulu ultimately agree to go on a night out in London with Jim and Alex. Jim is still in shock that two beautiful women like Kitty and Lulu agreed to go out with them. While driving back, Lulu has a nightmare about a younger Kitty. Over at the girls' mansion, Kitty is then shown practicing kickboxing. Seriously, how hot is that montage? It's clear that she's the more dominant sister among the two. Kitty reminds Lulu that they need one more sacrifice, Jim, to reincarnate their father. We see Kitty painting a circle and satanic symbols. She reassures a clearly emotional Lulu who seems conflicted. As Alex is ready for the night out, Jim is still hesitant and unsure if he wants to go. In a nice mirroring of Kitty reassuring Lulu, Alex comforts Jim and reassures him that everything will go great tonight. As the girls and guys get ready for the big night out, we see Kitty and Lulu preparing chloroform, syringes, and knives to drug Alex and Jim. As they all arrive at the club, Alex picks Kitty to join him for a drink at the bar, leaving Lulu and Jim together. Jim tries to make small talk, awkwardly. But at the bar, Kitty says that she and Lulu don't drink alcohol, leaving Alex perplexed. He grabs Jim and improvises by taking them all to Laura's boyfriend's concert. Remember that? Where they seem to be the only audience present. Turns out, Alex is there to procure drugs from Laura. You sneaky bastard. Alex grabs beers for the lads and cranberry juice for the girls and promptly drops a pill in each drink. He hands them their drinks and winks at Jim. But Jim panics and stops Lulu from drinking, dropping her glass to the floor. As they head to the bar to get another drink, Kitty sees the pill in the smashed glass and then discovers a pill in her glass too. The couples then head to a hip-hop bar. Jim finally begins to bond with Lulu while Alex and Kitty are dancing. Just then, Jim receives a text from his mum about a dinner he had to be at. Afraid that Jim going away would ruin the sisters' plan, Lulu offers to drive Jim to the dinner, accompany him, and then back together to the club. As they reach his mum's place, Jim realizes he had his beer with the drug in it. Oh lad. Turns out it's a surprise party for Jim's birthday. They gift him his nan's penknife. As Jim's parents engage in conversation with Lulu, Jim starts feeling the effects of the drugs. They all celebrate his birthday. Lulu seems genuinely won over by their silliness and warmth. Over at the nightclub, Kitty ignores Alex and tells him she's not interested in him. A pissed-off Alex splashes water all over Kitty. Kitty heads to the washroom and inside a toilet prepares a syringe full of chloroform to take down Alex. As a bouncer, orders her to open the door on suspicion of using drugs in the club and demands to check her purse. Kitty lures him inside seductively and kills him. Receiving a missed call from Kitty, Lulu tells Jim that they should get back to the club. As Lulu is rushing them back to the club, Jim tells her that she's perfect. Lulu seems to admire that, but reminds herself to stick to the plan. Over at the club, Kitty looks for Alex with the chloroform syringe in hand. As she finds him and is about to stick the needle into Alex, Lulu stops her. They try to take Jim back to their place, but he refuses to go without Alex. This catches Alex's attention and they head out together to the sisters' place. Alex and Jim are now under full effect of the drugs they had in their beers. While attempting to share a cigarette with Lulu, Alex distracts Kitty, causing their car to spiral out of control and crash. When Jim asks what rescue service the car is registered with, Kitty says that she stole this car from her uncle. As Alex and Kitty try to fix the engine, Jim helps Lulu clean up her wound. They share a moment where they seem to be into each other. They're interrupted by Alex, who tells them that his father's house is a mile away and they can borrow his car and then go to the girls' place. Once there, Alex catches up with his father. Kitty notices Lulu getting close and snuggling with Jim. She pulls Lulu aside to the toilet. Lulu tells Kitty that they could maybe find another man to sacrifice. But Kitty defiantly says that she'll be the one killing Jim tonight. As the lads pop out to grab snacks for Alex's dad, he switches on the news to find that the sisters have been identified as serial killers, showing enhanced images of Lulu and Kitty on the news. The news calls them the man-eaters, which is overheard by Kitty. Before Alex's dad can defend himself, Lulu hesitatingly knocks him out with a lamp and he's then drugged by Kitty. They lay him down on the sofa. When the guys come back, Kitty tells them that his father fell asleep. As they head into the car, Alex tells Jim they still have time for him to lose his virginity before he turns 30. As they're driving to the girls' mansion, the news about the man-eaters plays on the radio. But Alex and Jim are too naive to suspect them. Kitty invites Alex upstairs to her room, leaving Jim and Lulu together. But wait, does Lulu want to confess Kitty's plan to Jim? As Alex and Kitty begin disrobing to have sex, Alex tells her that he likes her a lot. But when he turns around, he sees Kitty with a knife. He runs away in panic. Lulu blurts out that she and Kitty killed 4 men. Jim laughs and is then struck by disbelief. Lulu tells Jim that the virgin is supposed to be the final sacrifice to reincarnate her father. She says that she found out he's a virgin from his virgindates.com profile. Alex, whilst trying to hide from Kitty, stumbles upon the picture of Jim's profile. Kitty hears the sound of a window breaking and rushes to find Alex, but Alex attacks her from behind. Kitty squares up for a fight. What the hell? And begins striking Alex with punches and takes him down. Alex fights back and pushes her against a wall, choking her. She smashes 2 bottles of wine on his head, causing Alex to release his grip on her. Alex begs for a timeout, but Kitty squares up again. As Kitty punches and kicks him again, Alex retaliates with a punch of his own. Getting gnarly here. The fight turns bloody and vicious, with Kitty seemingly getting the better of Alex. Alex somehow manages to toss her into a wall. She charges into Alex and spears him through a glass pane. As Alex manages to pin her down, he apologizes to her again and tells her to leave him alone. Kitty begins making out with a surprised Alex and then grabs his crotch, causing him to roll away. This shit is bonkers. Alex pulls down an entire shelf of vases and plates on Kitty and stomps on it for good measure, crushing her. But Kitty still gets back up. Holy smokes. Downstairs, Lulu tells Jim that she cares about him and asks him to get out of there immediately. Jim hesitates while leaving, only to get knocked out by a shovel at the hands of Kitty. Jim is then shown tied up to a chair with tape on his mouth. Around him are corpses of the other men they've killed. Jim screams for help as he sees Kitty and Lulu get ready for the satanic ritual. As the girls wheel in the rotting corpse of their father, Jim finds the penknife gifted to him in his back pocket. The girls begin chanting the satanic verses and Jim begins cutting the tape on his hands. The corpse comes back to life and begins making his way towards Jim. Lulu tries to stop her father but is knocked down by an irate Kitty. Jim manages to free himself in the nick of time and avoids getting stabbed. Alex appears to save Jim but immediately passes out seeing the reanimated corpse. Jim musters up strength and breaks the corpse's hand. Ouch! And stabs him in the skull. Kitty is distraught and tends to her father. Jim frees himself but is attacked by Kitty. She stabs him but gets smacked in the head by Lulu, presumably to her death. The corpse grabs Lulu's foot, but Jim kicks his head off. Goal! Lulu helps Jim carry Alex outside. Lulu apologizes to Jim. The cops arrive and take Lulu into custody after she and Jim share a goodbye kiss. Jim tells Alex that she's not a psychopath. Alex wishes Jim a happy birthday and apologizes for not getting him laid before turning 30, but Jim happily resolves to live his life on his own patient terms. And so we come to the end of the recap of Double Date. I hope you enjoyed this recap as much as I did watching this wild thriller again. Make sure to like and subscribe as we're only getting started here with entertaining recaps.